When Burton Albion announced they'd re-signed Kyran Lofthouse on a permanent deal from Barnsley, it fell squarely into that second category. For Bros fans, it wasn't a flashy headline, but it carried the promise of solidity, versatility, and a reminder of last season's great escape from relegation. And for the 24-year-old defender himself, it represented the chance to forge a fresh legacy at Pirelli Stadium, the place where he proved his worth in one of the toughest relegation battles in recent League One history. If you're new here, welcome to Crime Signal Football, where we break down every move in the transfer market and show you why each signing matters, not just for the club's balance sheet, but for the emotions of fans, the tactics on the pitch, and the career stories of the players themselves. Before we kick off, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications, because you won't want to miss our exclusive analysis on Burton's summer rebuild, plus every twist and turn of the League One promotion race. Now, let's rewind to February of last year, when Burton found themselves in a precarious position, hovering just above the drop zone in League One, with form wavering and morale low. Manager Gary Bowyer needed reinforcements, and on deadline day he made a low-key loan swoop for a player who'd caught his eye not at a big club, but back in non-league football, Kyran Lofthouse, a former Woking defender who'd earned a move to Barnsley in 2023. At Woking, Lofthouse's performances had turned heads, commanding in the air, calm on the ball, and fearless in one-on-one duels. But making the jump from the National League to the Championship, and then out on loan to Burton in League One, would test any young defender's mettle. Burton's recruitment team saw something special in Lofthouse. They needed a player comfortable at centre-back but versatile enough to slot in at right-back or as a shielding presence in front of the back four. He ticked those boxes and arrived at Pirelli on loan, joining a defence that had conceded more goals than any other side outside the relegation zone. His impact was immediate. In his first game, he made 8 clearances, won every aerial duel he contested, and completed 92% of his passes, many of them progressive, up the field to kickstart attacks. For a side fighting to stay up, Lofthouse offered a blend of reliability and forward momentum that galvanized teammates and supporters alike. Over the next 3 months, Lofthouse made 16 appearances, playing a pivotal role in Burton's climb out of the drop zone. He kept 2 clean sheets in his first 4 matches, earning back-to-back Man of the Match awards in crucial away fixtures. The decider came on the final day of the season, a tense 1-1 draw at home that mathematically guaranteed safety by a single point. As the full-time whistle blew, cameras captured Lofthouse sprinting toward the corner flag to celebrate with the home crowd, a scene etched forever in Bros folklore. For Burton Albion, it wasn't just survival, it was a statement of identity: fight for every ball, stand tall under pressure, and never let go. Behind the scenes, discussions between Burton's board and Barnsley's hierarchy quietly took shape. A permanent move made sense for all parties. Burton wanted continuity, they needed the reassurance that a key defensive piece would be there next season. Barnsley, preparing for their own League One campaign, were willing to cash in on a player who had proven himself at a comparable level. The fee remained undisclosed, typical in the lower leagues, but sources suggest it represented good value for a 24-year-old defender with both championship pedigree and a passion for the Brewers' cause. When the paperwork was finally signed, Gary Bowyer spoke to the club website with genuine enthusiasm. Kyran made a big impression last season and we felt it was really important for him to return to enable us to play how we want to this season. Those words highlight what Burton's style under Bowyer has become, a mix of solid defensive organization, quick transitions through the fullbacks, and a willingness to take the game to opponents even at home. Lofthouse embodies that philosophy. He's not only strong in the tackle and composed under pressure, but also eager to step into midfield when Burton dominate possession, a trait Bowyer values highly as he shapes a squad capable of pushing for the playoffs, rather than merely scrapping to survive. So, what exactly does Lofthouse bring to this Burton team? Let's break it down. Versatility. During his loan spell, Lofthouse played across the back line. In a 3-5-2 formation, he slotted in as the right center defender, handling wide runners and covering marauding wingbacks. When Burton switched to a flat back four, often against teams who sat deep, he moved to right back, combining with wing-win duo Ben Fox and Marcus Harness to overload flanks. His adaptability gives Bowyer the freedom to tweak tactics mid-game without forcing personnel changes. Physical presence. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches, Lofthouse is a formidable aerial opponent. Last season he averaged 5.2 aerial duels per game, winning 78% of them, key stats for defending set pieces and crosses against strikers who target the near post. His strength also comes into play in central mid-block defending, where he drives forward to intercept passes and launch counters. Ball-playing ability. Gone are the days when defenders simply hoofed clearances upfield. Modern football demands ball-playing centre-backs who can initiate attacks. Lofthouse completed 89% of his passes last season, including a high proportion of forward passes breaking lines. This ability meshes perfectly with Burton's intent to play out from the back and keep opponents honest high up the pitch. Mental resilience. Few things test a defender's mind like a relegation battle. Lofthouse experienced weeks of tension, where one mistake could cost the club dearly. Yet he stood tall, both literally and figuratively, emerging as a pillar of consistency. That mental toughness will serve him and his teammates well when Burton aim for higher stakes this season. Youthful growth curve. At 24, Lofthouse is entering his prime developmental years. Many defenders don't peak until their late 20s, when positional awareness, reading of the game, and leadership come together. Burton have signed him at the perfect moment, young enough to grow with the team, but experienced enough to make an immediate impact. In the context of League One, these attributes are gold dust. Clubs like Wigan, Sheffield Wednesday, and Ipswich often invest heavily in promotion pushes. Burton must find value in smart, hungry players rather than break the bank. Lofthouse's permanent deal, a 2-year contract with an option for a 12-month extension, fits that model. It gives Burton security, allows Lofthouse to settle, and limits financial risk in case of injury or change of form. Off the pitch, Lofthouse's story resonates with supporters. He's the lad who arrived mid-season, won hearts with committed performances, and now chooses to return rather than chase bigger wages elsewhere. That kind of loyalty builds a bridge between players and fans, a crucial factor in tight stadium atmospheres where the crowd can become a 12th man. Early season matches at Pirelli Stadium already look set to sell out, with supporters eager to see their defender in Burton colours once more. Let's also consider Barnsley's perspective. They signed Lofthouse from Woking in summer 2023, hoping to mould him into a championship-level centre-back. He made 28 appearances for the Tykes, handling both central defensive duties and occasional stints at right-back. However, Barnsley's ambitions shifted. They targeted a more experienced defensive unit to stabilise their backline. By selling Lofthouse, they freed up wages and transfer budget while letting the player move to a club where he'd thrive. It's a reminder that football is a landscape of perpetual movement. One club's surplus asset is another's key ingredient. Now, as Burton kick off pre-season, Lofthouse will train alongside new signings and returning loanees. The club have added a handful of players to strengthen midfield and attack, but the real buzz surrounds the back four. Bowyer's blueprint demands high-intensity pressing and quick distribution, tactics that hinge on defenders who can cover ground swiftly and pick precise passes. Lofthouse's presence allows Burton to maintain defensive solidity even when pushing upfield. Early friendlies, including trips to Port Vale and Crewe Alexandra, will give fans their first glimpse of the new-look defence in action. From a narrative standpoint, Lofthouse's permanent switch is more than just another transfer update. It's a symbol of Burton Albion's identity, pragmatic, resilient, and community-focused. At a club that often punches above its weight, signing a player who embodies those values sends a clear message to rivals. Burton harbour ambitions not merely of survival, but of mid-table stability and even a playoff push, a dramatic upgrade from last season's relegation dogfight. As we look ahead to the campaign, imagine the moments that could define Lofthouse's tenure: a last-gasp header to deny Wigan a crucial away win, a lung-bursting run out of defence to set up a counter against Portsmouth, a composed performance in a rainy December night derby that cements him as a fan favourite. These are the building blocks of football folklore, and Burton's supporters are ready to witness them. Finally, let's not forget the human side. Lofthouse moved towns, adapted to new teammates, and battled personal pressure, all while under the microscope of social media and local press. His decision to sign a 2-year deal, rather than test the wider market, shows character. He's chosen a club that believes in him, a manager who trusts his qualities, and a community that has already celebrated his contributions. That mutual faith between player and club is what underpins great football stories. If you're as excited as we are about Burton's summer business, and want to follow every twist, from pre-season friendlies to League One's rollercoaster drama, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Join Crime Signal Football for all the analysis, interviews, and behind-the-scenes access you won't find anywhere else. Because when a player like Kyran Lofthouse comes home, that's when the Real story begins.